Well, guys, any of you that have been watching this channel long enough recognize this truck. This is the first retrofit I ever did on a truck. Just noticed that he's got no belt on the... He's got a long list. It's the new owner owns this truck, though. I'm gonna see, he's got something wet here. Something's leaking down on that spring, but it's got... We're gonna put a new engine wiring harness in it. The new owner wants to do, and it's got a D-rate. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're doing to this truck. I am going to plug into it. I'll see what's going on here. It's got some kind of D-rate and def bullshit going on with it. Old Tom finally retired, and shoot, he was like 71 or 72 when we did this project. So I was wondering when he was going to hang it up. I think his wife's got cancer real bad. That's really bad to hear. I guess they've been going back and forth to Reading about every day. It's no good. And we're gonna install a depth gauge. And Tom didn't want a depth gauge. He said, I'm just gonna top it off every day. So he didn't want a depth gauge and he didn't want cruise on it. So we're gonna add cruise to it. On, off, and set resume switches for the cruise. We're going to put a new engine wiring harness in it. We're going to get this, obviously, this D-rate and this code figured out. It's got something to do with the doser. Get the Insight here to boot up, and we'll see what's going on. He said the amber light was on. These are the lights I put in it when I did this job. Trying to figure out where we're going to put the depth gauge. Is there a gauge that's not being used? Well, there you go, right there. That fuel filter gauge, that was for that cat engine. We don't need that anymore. We can get rid of that. Air cleaner, I don't think that one's being used either. No, that's not being used either. So we can go here. And I don't even think the ammeter gauge, I'd have to see if that ammeter gauge is being used or not. I don't know. There's plenty of spots to put that gauge, though. What the hell did I just do there? What the hell there? Connect to ECM. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, go over here to fault codes. Come on, Grandma. Grandma was slow, but she was old. We could probably put a new NCAL file on this thing too. I gotta update my NCAL files. I think they're about expired. Come on, what are we doing here? Damn thing. Trying to get this drug up. If the little circle would quit popping up, it'd be really nice. SCR monitoring system malfunction, special instructions. After treatment 1 diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor circuit. Voltage below normal. Okay. Engine protection, torque D-rate exists. So after treatment diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor. Okay, alright, so don't know. I could see if I can right click on that and go to fault trees troubleshooting steps. I might just have to get on quick serve. Which engine? I don't remember. Is this a 108 or 109? This is a ISX 15 CM23 X101 X102. So it's this one here. Okay. See if it comes up with something and it tells me to update my manager, whatever. Okay. So never mind with that. Let's go over to Cummins Quick Serve, and we'll see what's going on with that. Let me need two hands to type in all the passwords and all the nonsense here. And I gotta choose, I think I have this engine serial number in my Quick Serve account. What is that serial number right there? This is a CM2350 101 engine. That's what we got. So let's go to the fault code troubleshooting manual, and now I already forgot the stupid code number. Let's go back and minimize that and go back to Insight and look up 3572, and this, you know what I'm gonna do, so I don't have to go back and forth. I'm just gonna take a picture of that with my phone. Okay, let's look up this 3572 code. Pressure sensor circuit. Okay, all right. Let me turn this shit off, because I do not want to listen to that shit. 3752. And I went screaming by it. No? Why is it not in there? 3844, 3843, 3749. Am I on the wrong engine or something? Huh, I don't understand what's going on here. 3572, I'm dyslexic. Okay, dummy. 3572. There we go. Makes a difference when you got your numbers correct. Okay. Low signal voltage detected at the diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor circuit. Possible to reduce engine performance. Damn it, I did not want to do that. God dang it, man. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Battery, blah, blah, blah. Diesel exhaust fluid supply module relay. Okay. Let's read about this. The engine control module provides a 5-volt supply and a ground to the aftertreatment diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor. The pressure sensor provides a signal to the ECM on the signal circuit. So what we're going to do here is a really simple way to do this. I'm just going to show you right now. Let's go over here. Key switch on. None of those codes. Sensor supply voltage is okay. Let's go to the dosing unit from the OEM harness. Inspect the pins and connectors for damage. Easily inspect. Blah blah blah. Sometimes. Oops. Go back to Insight. Let's go to Data Monitor. Let's see if it even shows up here. Come on. Trying to get the screen to minimize. And we'll go into see if we can find it on there. After treatment. After treatment diesel. Hang on, I got a phone call. Okay, so let's look at here. Do some unit. Fluid reverting. Fluid tank level. Intake NOx should be crankcase pressure. Where is the EGR pressure? What? Should be right here, I would think. I probably went right by it. Let's look at her again here, huh? Oh, yeah. There's a diesel exhaust fluid, dosing unit, heater state. Lamp status, fluid pressure, sensor voltage. That's the one I'm looking at right there. So let's find, I don't have a light with me. What we'll do is find the signal line on it and the 5-volt reference line. We can do that with probably with a power probe real easy. And easiest way to do it is once you do find your 5-volt reference and your signal return, you can jump the 5-volt reference to the signal line, and then you should see 5 volts back at the ECM. Okay, I found it. You'll see that I have after treatment diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor voltage is 5 volts. With that, let's go take our jumper wire off.
Need help?
Yep. Should go away now. Huh?
You said you needed help?
Yeah. Okay, you'll see that our 5 volts is gone now, so I mean that kind of verifies the wiring, but is it shorted though? So we don't know that. Let's plug it back in. We know that our 5-volt reference is good and our signal return is good, not or our signal line. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, it's fine.
Are you gonna make sure you're staying home?
Yeah, I just walked out there, Andy. Get in there. Get her in. Oh, sure. Okay, let's see what we got here. Getting dark on us. Poor old guy just pulled in here to... I had a couple checks I was waiting on and they were missing. Well, he lives on 5127 Summers Lane, and I live on 5127 Altamont. Well, the old guy, he brings our mail over. The post office is always doing this, delivering the mail to the wrong damn place, because they can't read, I guess. But he pulled in there, and he ran off in the ditch there, and I was going to go out and help him, but a wrecker just happened to be driving by, and so he's going to drag him out of there. Poor old guy. Kind of felt bad. I was going to just go around there with the log truck and drag him out of there. Okay, so let's see what we got here now. See, we got 0.8 volts. And I want to monitor this thing. Must have a bad pressure sensor is what I'm thinking. I feel bad for the old guy. Nice old guy. Got a Vietnam vet hat on, so I was gonna go out of my way and go get him out of there. He's always been good to us because the post office is constantly doing this to us and delivering the mail to the wrong damn address. And they'll deliver his mail over to our house. So we'll take our mail over to him and he'll bring our mail to us. I mean, they're just, what can I say? It's a typical government employee. They can't do shit right, but they want top wages. We'll see what this thing does. We'll see what, I didn't even look up that one. Oh yeah, I took a picture of it, I guess, that monitoring thing. Well, he just about flipped her over. Hopefully he don't flip her over. Oh, come on. It's coming. We're gonna put cruise in this too. Put the new def gauge in it. Okay. Let's see what do you mean I lost communication? You dirty son of a gun, you. Don't know why we lost communication with it. It's kind of odd. There we got it again. No ECM connected. It should refresh. I'll just click her again there. No fault codes detected in ECM. So let's start it real quick and get this low error buzzer to quit beeping. Let's go back to this troubleshooting over here. Where was I at? Poor old guy. Just kind of feel bad for the guy. See some gauges here maybe. Amber light just came back on. What'd the amber light come on for? There it goes, 3572. Engine protection torque derate condition exists. Inactive. And the derate just went inactive because the amber light went off, I think. Let's go yeah, they're both inactive now, but it was active for just a minute. Well, I'm going to say we got a bad sensor, but let's go back into the troubleshooting here. We already know that our wire's good. Pretty certain it is anyway. Let's go to the solution set. Yeah, place a jumper wire between the attribute diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor signal pin and the attribute diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor supply pin, which I did. And we got our 5 volts there. Validation, usually recommended for the instant calibration. Pressure sensor voltage check. Disconnect attribute and also blah 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 blah. We already know we got 5 volts there. So what's it say here once you got 5 volts there? Wire between the attribute. Refer to the circuit diagram, which we did. Turn to connect the recommended Cummins electronic service tool equivalent. Wait 30 seconds. Are you gonna get him out or what? I need to go get him out of there. I could already had that fucking guy out of there. Use the recommended read all fault codes. A malfunction attribute diesel exhaust fluid dosing unit has been detected. If the following fault code became active with the jumper wire in place, 3571. A malfunction attribute, yeah, because I think it did. Yeah, I had a 3571 when I had the jumper wire in there. So we got a bad dosing unit. So throw those on there real quick. Where did my light go? Like a new one that's on here. Here it is right here. Probably could have unplugged it right here, but I probably should have done. But, obviously the wire, you know, I got to look at this a little bit closer tomorrow. Getting dark. I mean, I'll look at it tomorrow. Alright, so the next morning, got some daylight here. This thing is doing it. It's active right now. I'm gonna unplug that again. Let's check it again. We're gonna jump the pins. I'm trying to remember. Let's go back over to quick serve. I'm gonna minimize this. Thing's not running right either. It's kind of running rough. It's, see how the laptop's shaking? It's not running right. We want to go to let's see here. Get that cruise wired. She's got my switches in there. Yeah, it's not running correctly. Let's go to the wiring schematic. Actually, you know what? Don't need to do that. I just need to go back to that and then go to the fault code troubleshooting. Go down to the 3572. Fluid pressure sensor circuit voltage below normal or sorted below source. And here's your wiring schematic right here. So our 5 volt supply says is on See, that's the J2 connector. Wait a second. That's not what I'm looking for. This is the end I'm looking for here. Here's the doser control unit, dosing unit. So the 5-volt supply is actually coming in to pin 2, and the def pressure is pin 3. So let's check that out. Go back over to Insight. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so it's the latest calibration that it had was a .41, so it's 2 revisions behind. So we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll let this thing do its thing and get the current file in it, and then we'll try it again and see what it does. I forgot that when I did this one, I used CalTerm to make it ignore the fuel tank sending unit code, and I bet that's going to be back in there now, because when I put the new updated file in there, I bet I took it back to its original calibration, or, you know, I bet I screwed up there. That's okay, really. I can overcome that, no problem. Now let's go over here to faults, and let's exit out of the calibration. We don't need to be in there no more. Let's go to fault codes. I'm sure a fuel tank sending unit. Yeah, there's my fuel tank. Main level. Coolant level sensor circuit voltage above normal or shorted to high source. So that's no problem there. We can go into the features and parameters and get rid of that. I think that's what I did on that. I don't remember 100%. I might have told it to ignore that one too. I cannot remember what I did on that one. I think I told it to ignore that one too, because we ended up not using a tank, one with a regular, you know, a radiator out of a newer style. We used the old radiator in this, which has no coolant level. Is there a port in the pressure tank up here to where, like on that N14, why couldn't we screw one in right here, some kind of level sensor in that port right there, and hook that up, and then we don't have to worry about that code anymore? Maybe I'll look into doing that. I don't think I can deactivate it here. Engine coolant level sensor, I think it's locked. Yeah, this feature is locked. So there's nothing we can do there. Well, let's just see if that other code comes back, and I'll address that other stuff here in a little bit, because we're going to be putting a new ECM, a new engine wiring harness in it anyway, but that's going to be actually on the OEM harness. But anyway, let's see if this stupid fault becomes active with the DEF system. Here's our pressure and all that good stuff. It'll have to go through, so watch, it's initializing. As soon as it's done initializing, that's usually when the code becomes active. Thing don't run right. Let's watch it. I mean, last last time I was watching it, as soon as it got done initializing, the code came active. Taking a while, isn't it? Come on, hurry up. That's when it did it last time. Last time, as soon as that said off for initializing, that code became active right away. I mean, immediately. Yep, there it is again. Why is it doing that? Alright guys, so I got a wire. What I did is I cut it right here on the signal line. And I just got it dummy rigged right now. I got it tied onto there. And then I went to the J2 connector, pin 16. And I think I got a remedy. See, what happened is when I retrofitted this thing, I had Cummins CalTerm, and I made it to where these two codes were, it ignored them. So I'm gonna have to do that again, but I've got that problem fixed. So we got a bad signal wire. I'm just gonna get some 1/4" split loom and solder those two ends and run it down the harness, because like I told the new owner, I said, you're not gonna buy this harness. This harness is especially for this truck. I said, we have to fix this one. So that's what we're gonna do. So, oh, that's right, I never did hook this one up with a brake pedal switch. I forgot about that. I'll just go back into here and cancel it. Let it cool down. It never even got hot yet, so. All right, guys, we got that problem figured out. Let's just get the wire soldered and get it done. Well, guys, I got the on-off set resume switches wired into the J2 plug and got them wired up into the firewall and into the dash, but what the hell's that? What's that leaking right there? It's coolant. That hose is leaking right there. Anyway, what I got to do now is I've got to wire a normally closed. I got to plumb an air switch into the service brake. that's normally closed. And I think that's running off pin 20 or 44, and then a park brake switch. So you need to be able to cancel the cruise with the brake pedal switch. And then if you're setting at a standstill like this, you can't bump up the idle without the ECM seeing either the service brake signal or the park brake signal. So we'll get back into quick serve here and let's see what wires are doing what. I think it's pin 20. I wired these yesterday. I wired 3 wires. 2 of them, one's going to be for the set resume and one's for the Excel. And then this one was for on off. And then I just ran a ground in the cab for signal return. And what am I doing anyway? I got my head in my ass. I need to go to quick serve. Oops. I might have to go in the house and get my glasses. Okay, let's go to service. And wiring diagram. And let's blow it up where we can read it. And it kind of takes it a while for it to populate. But I know it was like right over here where all the switches were. And there they are. And wait for it to populate where we can see it. And then we'll figure out what we got to do. And I might just tie a couple wires together to see if I can get it to work. And then I'll work on wiring it. We'll see what happens here. I'll be back with you when this thing wakes up and does what it's supposed to do. I think pin 44 is the service brake, I think. Let's go. Yeah, brake pedal position switch 1. There's 2 of them. I don't think we're gonna worry about a clutch pedal switch. They can cancel it with the service brake. So it's gonna be pin 44 on that one. And I think everything was multiplexed on the original chassis that this engine came out of. Alright, so you're gonna have 24 wide, so pin 44. So if that's number 1, that's 24, then this one would be 48, 47, 46, 45, 44. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 5 over, I think. So 44, 45, 46, wait. 44, 45, 46, 47, 48 should be 5 over. The second row. Okay, and I can't tell because all the way the wires are bent. Hang on, let me go get a different light here. Or maybe I can, let's see if we can get these wires kind of bent forward to where we can get in there and see what we're looking at. So we're looking at the second row. 1, 2. Man, it's still hard to see. This yellow wire's in the way, but the green wire is on the second row. So we're looking at, what are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. That one right there. There's no wire in it. Okay. I'll show you what else you got to do when you're doing these. You got to take this plug apart and you got to be very careful with this little retainer. Oops. Pull that retainer out of there. Now I got to get a pick or a knife or something and dig out that one little plug, because these will have plugs in them. So it's 2448. Make sure I'm looking at the right end. And I determined it was this one. That one right there. There it is. Got the little plug out. Let's go get a wire and stick in there. And I had to buy some of these from Tom the other day from Kenworth. And I'm trying to remember what the heck I did with them. I went over and got this morning and had to go to Yana Valley and had a 420F backhoe that wouldn't start. And those things have a low voltage disconnect on them if you get bad batteries or something. Yeah. And the way Cat put that batteries up there in the front, and if the bucket and the boom's down, that grill assembly hinges out like that. What hits the boom, you can't get to the batteries. They didn't put a jump post on it anywhere. It's just some more really genius engineering. I had to buy a bunch of these from Tom the other day. These are these little wires for this kit. $10. That little wire right there is $10. Cummins. Yep, that's a $10 wire. Let's see if I can get this right the first time. I think I got it upside down. Oops. Wasn't like that. And it'll lock in there. And I think I want to go 10-20 on the park brake. I'm kind of wondering if I can disable the park brake and just use the service brake. I think it has to see, because see, the service brake is normally closed. You see the switch here, how it's close to the signal return. If you come up here, the normal position for the park brake switch is normally open. So I wonder, I'll put one in pin 20 anyway, just to have it. There's $20 spent real quick, huh? Two little pigtail wires. Gotta keep track of them. I mean, if those were 10 cents, I wouldn't even charge him for them, but I got to charge him for this, and things are $10 a piece. Everybody in Klamath Falls has to have a loud, obnoxious Dodge with straight pipes on it. Just, oh, it is what it is. So we know. Where'd my knife go? We know that, you know, that's 24. Knock it off! Nosy! Shut up! Barks at everything. Okay, we know that's So that's 24, 23, 22, 21. That should be 20. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, need being like this. Did I like this? Okay. Put this little retainer. This keeps your pins, locks your pin or your wires in. Sometimes these can be really, if they've been in there a long time, they can be a real big pain to get out of there. And I don't have the slide lock on here. I'll just temporarily doing this and doing it like this, because I'm gonna have to take it back apart again, maybe. I've done this enough times and I know that I'm not putting that all the way together. And I take a screwdriver and slide it in the slots on the other end and push them out. Not a big fan of this kind of connector, but okay. So I want to ground. What I'm going to do for now, just to testing purposes, I know that this one up here is pin 20 and this one should be pin 44. So I'm just going to ground this wire for right now to see if anything happens. The fucking people in this country never cease to, especially these city dwellers. There's a trailer upside down in the ditch by my, sitting here working, and I hear this crash, and this is, I'm used to it. These fucking idiots around here, they'll hit the railroad tracks doing 70 miles an hour, and their trailer will come off their hitch because they don't have it latched right, and then the son of a bitch will come off and go through they've already sent it through my fence a couple times. It's unbelievable. I'm trying to find somewhere to plug in here. Cannot make this shit up. Okay, let's establish communication with it. Go back over to Insight. Is it already low on air already? Thing, see how it kind of runs rough when it's. Stupid son of a bitch. Yeah, this thing ain't right the way it's running. Should not run like that. It's shaking the shit out of the cab here. Good grief. I know I'm gonna have a couple fault codes in it. I know I'll remedy those. I'm not worried about that. Golly, this thing is not running right. It's missing. It's misfiring. Let's figure out why it's. Let's do that real quick while it's cold here. Cylinder cutout test. One's hitting. Two's hitting. 3, what? 4's hitting. 5's hitting. I don't know what the hell's going on. They all seem to be hitting, but it sure shakes like a son of a bitch when it's sitting here running. Let's go to, I don't know if it's gonna show. Okay, so we got brake pedal position switch. It says released. Now I should, if I take my ground wire off, it should say applied. Now it says depressed, okay? Now it says release, okay, that's what I want. Ground that, see if my switches. Okay, my cruise on off switch. That's saying on. There we go, it's working. I don't think I'm even gonna worry about the park brake switch. And then I can see, I got it set to where I can go like that. And then I can hit resume. I need to swap my 2 wires around. That's wrong. That should be, let's see, resume should be on the bottom, because I had resume set up for 1,000 RPM, and then yeah, I gotta swap my wires around. Okay. Now, what you could do, it's just like pressing the brake pedal. Let's swap these wires around real quick. I knew it was a 50-50 shot. I couldn't remember what color wire was doing what that I wired in there. Bottom one, and the red will go on the bottom, and then all right, that should be correct now. We should be able to go. Yep, that's what I want. Okay, guys, well, what we got to do now back. I want to see something else. I'm going to go to the SCR, let it warm up for a little bit. We'll see. It's initializing right now. I want to see once it starts building depth pressure to make sure that 3572 code doesn't come back. Let's see, I got that Johnson bar pulled there. Let's see if I got brake lights going back here. Okay, so now let's figure out which one. Low air already. Let me start this thing, build some air. Pretty good air leak somewhere on it. Let's bump the idle up. Let's kick the ground off. Let's see which one's doing what here, because I don't see any of these labeled. Not that one. Should be this one right here. That one, okay. All right. So, I would probably assume that it's going to correspond with the line right here. So, let me go get a 1/4" T. And we'll plumb it in there. Okay, so what I did is I put a 1/4" T there. I know it's kind of the long way around, but this switch I got, it's 1/8" male pipe. So I put a 1/4" 1/8" pipe bushing, then a union, and then a fitting that would go 1/4" male pipe to 1/4" nut and ferrule plastic airline. I hate those quick connects. They leaking pieces of shit's what they are. I like an old nut and ferrule. They don't leak. So anyway, what we'll do, I'm gonna wire it in here and get the wires on there, and then I'll put it back up in here somewhere and tie it up where it's out of the way. It's not gonna be rubbing on anything. So that's kind of what was my whole goal there, is to get it to where it wasn't rubbing on anything. I didn't want to just hang it down here because that's a lot of weight hanging off that. But up here like this, tie it up, it should be fine. So let's run the wire. Is there anything to ground off of in here? How about that? Is that a ground? Looks like a good ground to me. And I'll just run a short wire to a ground somewhere, and then I'll run the other wire into the cab to that wire, to that post. Let's see, we got her grounded. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see if it works. Okay. Did not work. Oh, there it is. I was just didn't wait long enough. Huh? Oh. I had the cruise on off switch off. Probably not going to work very well like that. Let's let it build a little bit of air. So this is the first one I ever did, and I had Calterm at that time. I don't have Calterm anymore. And what I did is I went into Calterm and I got these two codes that I've got. One is the fuel level. They run the fuel level off the CAN bus on the new ones. The other one's coolant level sensor. Well, I know what the resistance is. I'll put a resistor in that one. I'll put a resistor in both of them, but that'll go away when I do that. So now, if this is working correctly, I should be able to hit the brake pedal and cancel the cruise. There you go. Then I should be able to hit it again. Turn it back on. Should be able to cancel it. Alright, that's the way it's supposed to work. Alright. Now the park brake. I'm not 100% certain which one is doing what here. I don't know if it's coming down through there or not. Let's get the steering wheel. Pull that down out of my way. It's Something's leaking back in this dash. Pretty good. Okay, where is our tractor valve at? Okay, so there's the valve right there. So I guess, what do I do here? Do I just... These are quarter, or are they 3/8 line? I can't really tell. Those look like they're 3/8 maybe there. Which that's not too big of an issue. But I wonder, I'm thinking, that's feeding that. I'm trying to figure out what supply and what is here, what's what, you know? That's gotta be... I'm not sure what's doing what there. Not 100% certain do we have to have that. I'm trying to think this through. You know, I'm wondering if the cruise going down the road wouldn't work correctly without that pushed in. It means that's a normally open switch. Would it think that it's setting still because that's not pushed, you know, there's no signal going back to the ECM to say that it's out of park? I mean, it makes sense that you cancel the cruise with that, and you could cancel it. If you had a clutch switch, you could cancel it with that too, but we don't need a clutch switch. We don't need that at all. Because we can cancel the cruise with the brake pedal in PTO mode. But I'm not 100% certain. I don't think that the cruise would work going down the road for a set speed on the miles per hour without a switch in here. I don't think it would do it. So there's a couple 3/8 lines going down to here, and I wonder if one of them, there's a 3/8 line right there. So I'm wondering if one of them maybe might be, I guess I could just, it's kind of one of those things where, is anything out here labeled? Yeah, no. Well, I thought I saw a 3/8 line coming in. 212, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Don't know. Gonna have to figure that out. Which one's which there? Oh. So, I don't know, I guess I'll grab, there's two 3/8 lines there. Where's this one here going? This one's going up to this. That's going up, so it's obviously not one of these two. Hold on, let me move some of these tools out of my way. So it's obviously, those are all 3/8 airlines there. So you got these three here that we know that they're not those. And actually, this one here, I bet, is that electrical or is that air? What is that? That's electrical. Somebody ran up in there. Okay. There's another 3/8 line there. Now, I don't know if that's a supply for that or not. Let's see. Let me figure this out, guys. Okay, so I got a few things. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff he wants me to do here. I don't know what the injectors are for, but anyway, what's this here? The depth pump, which he didn't need. All it was a wire, and some guy put a $1,400 pump and doser control unit on it. And all it was a wire. I gotta fix the hood in and put a reinforcing plate under the hood. Underneath, I gotta do that. I got a dash control valve I gotta change. I got cab mount shocks and airbags to put on there. What do we got here? That's the filter kit for the DEF pump. Put it down there. What? I'm not certain what this is here. Proportioning valve. Usually the proportioning valve is for the front brakes, so I don't know if he wants. He's got a big list in there for me. I got a lot of shit to do to this thing. I'm gonna quit on this part for now because I don't have another T. Anyway, I gotta go in, wait for somebody to open up Monday morning. It's Saturday afternoon. So I'm gonna go ahead, just kind of half-ass put this together for now, like that. And let's go ahead and build up some air. And why is that not working all of a sudden? Why would that not be working all of a sudden? Are you fucking shitting me? Oh, dumbass. Had the Johnson bar pulled down. Johnson bar, I don't know, that's what I've heard them call that. The handbrake. I was going, what the hell's going on here? I got it, I don't know, I'll have to call Oliver and ask him how. I got it set. I got this, see that's set resume. That set resume is 1,000 RPM. And if you want to, I went to 1,200 on that's 1,200 going up. That's 1,000 going down. There's the depth gauge right there. I put in there yesterday. So anyway, okay, well, what we're gonna do now, I'll get another T. I think I figured out what line I need to plumb into there, and for the park brake part of it. But what I want to do now is either, I got an idea. I'm gonna go over there. I got another truck over here with a coolant level sensor. So what we did, on this thing, guys, is when I retrofitted this one, I was new to that. We used Tom's old radiator, and so there's no coolant level sensor in this thing. So what I'm going to do is figure out what the resistance is on that truck on the coolant level sensor with it full of coolant, and then I'm going to find a resistor that will basically take that code and take it inactive and solder it in there. So I went over to that truck and measured the coolant level sensor that's full of coolant. It was 133 ohms. I had a 120 ohm resistor, and then my resistor pack jumps to 150 ohms, and of course 120 ohm took it to inactive. Man, I'd like to be a little closer, you know, with heat, the heat and cold. I don't know if it would. See what my resistor set. My resistors go from 120 ohm, 100 ohm, 120 ohm to 150 ohm. Yeah, it's either you're going to be above it or below it. I mean, I guess we'll have to go with the 120. And obviously the hotter it gets, the higher the resistance is going to be. Shouldn't make that much difference, I wouldn't think. So now is that, I got a brand new engine. He wants this, he's got a brand new engine harness in here for the engine, the OEM, not the OEM harness, but the Cummins harness. But I didn't know, I think that's going to be part of the OEM, which would be, you can see my little resistor I got in there. I'm going to just cut the wires and then solder the resistor in and then heat shrink it. It'll be permanent. That would be this wire. I think that's should be OEM. Let's trace it around and make sure, because if it's not OEM and it's part of the Cummins, which I don't think it is, usually coolant level sensors and stuff like that is not Cummins' responsibility. That's usually the manufacturer of the truck. That's going to be this setup right here. And that's going into this mess. Wait a second. Which goes down into this, which is kind of looking like, am I doing this right? They're having the right wires here. Yeah. Well, maybe it is the Cummins, because I see a CAN terminator resistor there. Am I grabbing the right shit here? I could have swore that was OEM. Yeah. Looks like a new AC compressor, but that's going in this shit here, which I was grabbing the right stuff. Yeah. Which is this one here, and it goes into this mess right here. Which is this one here, which is this big gaggle of shit right here. Yeah, that's OEM. It's all OEM stuff. Here's that. Well, what am I doing? Let's go ahead and clear that code. And then all I have is that fuel level. I'll have to find the two wires and I'll do the same thing, a resistor. And I don't remember. I did that on Frank's truck too. Yeah. Almost put the cart before the horse there. And somebody's wired my data link, because I don't, somebody's been into this data link. See all the tape? That's not me. I mean, I did tap it tape, but that's fresh tape. Somebody's been into it, because this is the pin A and B. B is battery supply and A is ground. B is constant power. It should not be coming on with the ignition. So somebody has screwed that up. And so I might fix that and wire that correctly the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, so we know, we'll look, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll look in the engine, look in the wiring harness right here on quick serve. I forgot I only had one computer. Sometimes I have two computers out, one with QuickSurf on it, and I forgot it's all on one computer, so I gotta wait for this to finish its deal. So what happens is, since some genius wired that with ignition on, so every time I shut the key off, it loses communication, and I have to reestablish communication because some ding dong took the battery power away from it. Constant feed. That should, so yeah, I'll have to retry. And the coolant level sensor should be gone. And we'll refresh that, so we only got that one code left, and we can take care of that one too. No problem at all. So let's go ahead and disconnect for now. And why did it do that? That's really strange the way this Insight's working lately. I just disconnected from the ECM. I didn't exit out of Insight, and it just shut it off. Whatever, man. Okay, let's find the coolant level sensor, and that'll tell us right there. Should be ambient air, water, and fuel. It might be up here. Could be coolant level. Vehicle speed, intake air heater, fuel level. It's a fuel level. We're looking for coolant level. Engine coolant level sensor 2, engine coolant level sensor 1. It's a 2-wire. So it's this one right here. And that's going over to this one, which should be the J2 plug. Engine control module connector. Should say J2 on it somewhere. Well, anyway, go back up here. And you'll look at this, and you'll say it's on the J2 plug, because it's hard to read it, but this says OEM responsibility, this is Cummins responsibility, so the other plug's going to be, where's the J1 at? J1's over here, so it's a J2 plug. Okay. Anyway, so I can cut that where it's at. I'm going to shut this down and go ahead. I'm trying to think this through here. I got time to solder that in, so I'm going to go ahead and solder that in, guys, and then I'm going to figure out the fuel level one. I think I'm probably going to have to add the wire to the fuel level sensor on that. And it's like that truck of Andy's, that dump truck. I think I took a ground in for a signal return, and then I soldered a resistor in there between there and the return to give it the ohms it wanted to see. I think it might have been another 120 ohm resistor, if I remember correctly. So I don't know, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But anyways, I got a brand new all coming, and I'll walk in here and show you. Hadn't even really looked at it yet. Hawk-a-doo-doo-doo! This radiator out of that Dodge pickup. I got that backhoe going this morning for Mark, and then took off down to McDowell and put a 8D battery that was in that Heister, and then we finally got it running again, and Marco wanted me to follow him back because he wasn't sure, which I don't blame him, so I followed him all the way back to the hay shop, which is about 10 miles he roaded that thing. What did I do? Oh, yeah, it's right here. I need to get going on the damn squeeze, but then Ollie showed up with this Peterbilt, and one thing after another. There is a brand new harness for that engine serial number. Does that look correct? I think so. There's should be the J1 plug. What does that say on it? Does it say anything on it? No. That should be the J1 plug. Kind of a different looking. They must have changed them up a little bit. I don't remember ever seeing that kind of cloth material on them before. I don't remember seeing that. Did he give me the right one or what? Yeah, that's going to the injector. That's going up to the injector harness right there. Should be the right one. That'll probably be Monday. It's Saturday evening, and I'll probably do that Monday. But get that squeeze out of there, and I could have took that trailer off, and I could have got that truck in there. You know, if I had that squeeze out of there out of my way. Be doing it inside. That should be, yeah, that's that connector right there. So that's the correct one, it looks like. Yeah, they changed it. They didn't use this split loom looking like stuff. They used some different kind of protective covering over that new harness. But anyway, okay guys, well, I got a long ways today. Turn the key off. It's really nice when you're working on a truck and you forget to leave and left the key on, and you come out the next morning and the battery's deader and shit. Anyway guys, alright, well, I'm gonna solder those, cut that and solder that resistor in there, and then start putting all my stuff up and call her a week.